my topic for discussion today is D-dimer. Now, D-dimer we have been using since like as a pulmonologist, we are using many times, like in ICU patients and in patients with pulmonary embolism. So, but nowadays, like there is a lot of interest in D-dimer. So, what is D-dimer? Actually, D-dimer is a degradation product of cross-linked fibrin. It is a degradation. In simple words, it is a degradation product of blood clot. Cross-linking of fibrin is activated by factor VIII. So, in patients with factor VIII deficiency, D-dimer can be negative despite of having uh, thrombus or pulmonary embolism or DVT. So what does it suggest? In simple words, it suggests that there is ongoing activation of hemostatic system, and it suggests that there is thrombus formation. And once there is thrombus formation, there is always a fibrinolysis because of body's tendency to achieve hemostasis. So it also suggests fibrinolysis. So in simple words, whenever there is thrombus, there is fibrinolysis. So in simple words, if D-dimer is high, there is a possibility of thrombus anywhere in the body. So how does D-dimer is produced? So whether due to trauma or due to like some endothelial dysfunction, there is activation of either intrinsic or extrinsic pathway of coagulation, leading to formation of thrombin, and then which leads to breakdown of fibrinogen into fibrinopeptide A and B. These fibrinopeptide A and B are monomers. Uh, they join together to form polymers, and this fibrinopeptide polymers they cross-link to form fibrin clot, that is insoluble fibrin clot. And so there is as soon as there is a thrombus formation, there is activation of fibrinolytic system, leading to formation of plasmin, and which cleaves fibrin clot into fibrinogen, fibrin degradation product. That is, and D-dimer is one of the fibrin degradation product. So where we can apply D-dimer, it has got negative predictive value. Some places there is prognostic value also. In DVT, most common application is in DVT and venous thromboembolism. Another is diagnosis and monitoring of DIC. Traumatic brain injury, here it is a prognostic sign for progressive hemorrhagic injury. Aortic dissection, it has got negative predictive value. And in combination with other markers to differentiate between acute stroke and stroke mimicking conditions. And recently, it has been applied a lot in COVID-19 patients. So in DVT and venous thromboembolism, there is predominantly negative predictive value. Here, before applying D-dimer, you have to decide pretest probability. That is done by Wells criteria. Here it is decided whether there is a low probability, moderate probability, or high probability of pulmonary embolism. D-dimer is mostly useful in patients with low probability and moderate probability. In patients with low and moderate probability of DVT, it has got 99% negative predictive value, particularly in patients aged 60 to 80 years. If patients are more than 80 years, that its negative predictive value falls to a significant level to 21 to 31%. And in pregnant women, it has got 100%, almost 100% negative predictive value, particularly when there is low probability of pulmonary thromboembolism or DVT. In monitoring of DIC, in patients with DIC, there is high D-dimer with low fibrinogen. Whereas in COVID-19, there is high D-dimer along with high fibrinogen. So COVID-19, most of the patients, they don't have DIC. Of course, advanced multi-organ dysfunction, they can have DIC. And decreasing D-dimer on follow-up, it suggests a good prognostic sign. COVID-19, a very high D-dimer, more than 4 times upper limit of normal, had a prognostic value, that means it showed that patient who had more than 4 times uh, uh, value had high chances of mortality in one trial, which was published in Journal of Thrombosis and Hemostasis. So you can see that 12 out of only 67 patients had 4 times higher D-dimer value as compared to only as compared to 267 patients. So 12 out of 67 patients have died out of this, and only one patient of less than 4 times D-dimer died. So it has got some prognostic value. And previously, in the beginning of that pandemic, we also thrombolized so many patients with very high D-dimer, like 10,000 or more than 10,000. And others also did the same thing, but it's now data are clear. It should not, decision should not be taken based on D-dimer value. And D-dimer can be very high for many months after recovery. So there is no need of repeating D-dimer and follow OPD patient. Traumatic brain injury, elevated D-dimer at the time of admission, more than 5 milligram per liter, has sensitivity of around 72.8% and specificity of 78.8% for future progressive hemorrhagic injury. Aortic dissection, D-dimer has got good negative predictive value up to around 99%. If other causes of acute chest pain are excluded, particularly like MI and unstable angina. Now, D-dimer has got very low positive predictive value because it can be positive in hospitalized patients. After surgery, in pregnancy, many times it is positive. Even in inflammatory conditions, it can be positive. Malignancy, trauma, and heart disease, it is positive. In liver disease, it is positive because of decreased clearance. Methods of D-dimer test: latex agglutination assay, ELISA, and in SIMS, we are using immunoturbidimetric assay, which has got detection limit up to 9,000. So take home message here is that it has got good negative predictive value, and it has got some positive prognostic value in COVID-19. It can be high in COVID-19 for many months, even after full recovery. And it can be high in other group of patients like hospitalized patient, post-surgical patient, malignancy, trauma, MI, or other inflammatory conditions also. Thank you.